That's what I said.
You know when you said it, Mayor?
Hey.
How you doing? Could have been last month.
All right, y'all ready? Regular meeting of the mayor and the city council, city of Brown, Louisiana, date is Wednesday, November 13, 2024, council chambers. Each person must decide before any council chamber which agenda item they wish to comment on. If they're not seated in the chambers when the agenda item is heard, they will be notified by an officer to enter the council chambers to address that agenda item. Agenda, please silence all electronic devices. Agenda item number 1, call to order. Agenda item number 2, pledge allegiance. Everyone stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item 3, roll call.
Councilwoman Gordon,
Here.
Councilman Hubble,
Here.
Councilman Brown,
Here.
Councilwoman Lacy, and Councilman Revere.
Here. Thank you. Agenda item 4, approval of the minutes of the special meeting on October 9th, 2024. Motion by Councilman Revere,
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Gordon. Any objections? Hearing none?
Oh, Councilwoman Gordon,
Here. Yes.
Councilwoman Hubble,
I'm not used to my name
Councilwoman
first.
Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lacy,
Like,
Councilwoman Revere.
Yes.
Then item 5, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on October 9th, 2024. Motion by Councilwoman Lacy,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Revere. Any objections? Hearing none?
Councilwoman Gordon,
yes.
Councilman Hubble,
Yes.
Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lacy, and Councilman Revere.
Yes.
Then item 6, public comments. Comments from the public are allowed in accordance with the Louisiana Revised Statute 42:11, Section 2 through 34, specifically limited to agenda items to be considered during the meeting. 3 minutes per person and 15 minutes per topic. Agenda item 7, presentation by Anatol Vincent concerning the upcoming park and recreation tax by West Governor Parish. Mr. Vincent couldn't make it today, so we gonna table this agenda item. Agenda item 8, presentation by Republic Service explaining the changes in the trash pickup days. So Steve Smith.
Yes, sir. Mayor, council, good evening. Thanks for inviting me. When I was last before y'all, a month ago, talking about the hurricane debris, I mentioned we were looking at changing the routes up. We're always constantly looking for changing for efficiencies, driver hours, truck hours, things of this nature. And we came up with a determination of what we wanted to do. I believe all of y'all have copies of it, of how we want it separated. According to the contract, I have notified the city 2 weeks in advance. We notified the mayor on October 29, and we're gonna put everything into effect Monday, November 18. Again, along with the operational efficiencies we're looking at, we're excited from the standpoint is currently we're in Port Allen 3 days a week. We're now gonna be here 6 days a week with one driver dedicated to this city. He's a resident of West Baton Rouge Parish. We do have backup trucks, backup drivers. Something's gonna happen, we all know that. So that's, and if there's any questions, I will answer them, but, nobody likes change. This is the first time since I've been handling Port Allen that we had to do something like this. We made some changes on East Baton Rouge contract about 18 months ago, affected about 10,000 people. I mean, it's, people are in a routine, we understand that, we don't want to disrupt anything, but for the reasons mentioned, we want to do that. We also, not that it's going to affect the city of Port Allen, but like our commercial line of business, the trucks with the front load trucks and our roll-off trucks, they change their routes daily. It's just part of where's the volume, where can we equal out anything? Again, we're getting back to driver hours and truck hours and things of that nature. So I'll answer any question y'all might have.
I don't have a question, I've got a statement. I mean, to me, that on paper, the new schedule looks good. Because, like you said, there will be things that'll happen. Say if it happens on Monday, your guy will be back in
Like on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday.
So instead of just those 3 days. So. And I did post something online, got a pretty big response from it, so people would know, because it is a big change.
Sure.
Well, like I told you, Mr. Smith, I was disappointed because of the fact that the city was involved in this change. We wasn't notified until y'all had made a decision as to what y'all was gonna do. When y'all first presented this contract to the city, y'all was at our pleasure of agreeing to keeping everything as is, and that hasn't changed since we had this contract in effect, except the only thing that changed was the trash pickup on Saturdays. It was moved to Wednesday. So the entire contract that we have, the entire period that we had y'all on contract, we were accustomed to the Wednesday and Saturday pickup. Now,
it has come to a conclusion from the company, without getting the people involved, that you're gonna change the days Monday through Friday, garbage pickups, Wednesday, boom truck and recycle pickup, and Saturday, out of court, rear end pickup. Now, I don't know what the out of court Saturday rear end pickup is. Do you want to explain that?
I've not understood, you know, when we run the rear load truck in here, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, you have Saturday, out of court, rear.
The rear load truck will be running on Saturday for the material that's on the ground that won't fit into a cart. It's too small for the boom truck to pick up. Or if somebody puts out something between Wednesday and Saturday.
Okay. All right. And Wednesday, the boom truck and the recycle. So the recycle has moved from Fridays to Wednesdays.
Recycling is, yeah, every Friday. Okay.
Right. And see, that's what I'm saying. Everything has changed. So are y'all gonna notify the citizens of this city that of all these changes, because that hadn't been done?
Mayor, the contract says the city will notify.
Okay.
So what we have to do?
What would you like for me to do? I mean, I
Send them a
know,
bid?
I can write you a letter, don't y'all have, we did something recently in the water bill, I believe, for something, or am I mistaken?
We just have to insert it in the, water bill.
Like a water bill.
Yeah, put it in the water bill.
That's already been issued.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I mean, we're not too late to do it.
I think the service on Monday.
But it's all on social media, so everybody been sharing it, so I don't think it'd be a problem if we still put it in the water
You know,
bill.
social media don't get everything covered.
No, they don't, but, you know, word of mouth does.
It'll help.
It would have helped if y'all would put a flyer on each door,
Right.
so that these residents know, you know, who's gonna be on Mondays and Thursdays, and who's gonna be on Tuesdays and Fridays. Because according to your memo that you sent out, is everybody on the one side of the track is on certain days and the other side of the track is on opposite days. So, I mean, it was just a communication point, and that the city wasn't involved in your decision before you made that decision. I think we should have been informed or been a part of that decision making.
Yes, I understand that. I mean, I did mention we were looking at it again, like I said, the last time I was in front of the council, we were looking at making some changes. So, I mean, nothing's perfect. I wish it would be, but I don't think it's our experience with this. Again, once somebody gets used to it, it's a non-issue.
Yeah, that's a good excuse, but once again, you know, you have my citizens at your
Yes, sir.
beck and call.
Point noted.
You know, it's like you making all the decisions either or. This is the way it's gonna be, and that's not right. You know, that's not the way we signed the contract. When we signed the contract, you came to us saying, "Hey, look, we're gonna have brand new trucks." What we got now? We got trucks caught on fire. We got trucks that's leaking oil on our streets, that's defacing the roadway. I mean, there's a lot of things that y'all are not providing the citizens of the city. And now you want us to agree to something that we weren't part of, you know, in a short period of time?
I understand your concerns, Mayor.
Okay.
Well, I think about it. One thing I agree with, change is inevitable. But what I don't agree with, like, kind of the splitting of the city. Now, that part I wasn't in agreement with, like, half of the city, these 2 days, half of the city. I'm not a big fan about that. I mean, that's just like division. And definitely not a fan of division. I'm trying to work on keeping our city as united as we could. So I don't even want these services to even seem like it's a division there. So I think that was my biggest concern. But, and of course, accountability with Republic Services, ongoing with me. But do you feel like this is gonna help, these routes that you have now put in place? You feel like you're gonna be more proficient? We can get less complaints, we should be having all those issues and.
Yes, ma'am, that was part of the decision-making process. Again, as I said, we're now gonna have a driver and a truck here 6 days a week versus 3. Should something happen, the driver, that will be, you know, he's gonna be here all 6 days driving different trucks. So he's already running Port Island for us right now, so he's familiar with it. And the operations team is, you know, he's taking ownership. This is your city. Take care of it. So that's where we're at right now. So I mean, all that, again, with all the other factors I mentioned, it all comes in the decision-making process.
And I am kind of agreeing with the mayor, like with the oil and the streets, like now you from just the 2 days, 3 days to 6 days, so there's a lot going on the streets. But I guess you can guarantee that we're gonna have some decent trucks.
Should something happen, you bring it to our attention, we're gonna clean it up. That's the nature of the beast that goes on with the garbage truck. I wish I could tell you it'll never happen, but you know as good as I do.
Well, that's not the point, Mr. Smith. The point is when your drivers see that they got a leaking system and they track it up and down one street and they got to come back down that street and you don't see it and you don't stop. I got issues with that.
Yes, sir.
And oil isn't easy to clean off the street. You can throw sand on it to dry, but the stain gonna be there. And in fact, you can go down California Street, you can go out Miss Garden Street on 14th Street. It's been a month, oil's still there. It's not gonna go away. You know, I don't know what to tell you as far as your vehicles, what's causing this, but yeah.
I will definitely get, you know,
It's a nuisance.
I'm not doubting you one bit, please don't understand that. This is the first I'm hearing about it, which doesn't necessarily cross my desk, but I will give it to maintenance people. When I get in my truck and leave here, I'll be making phone calls. So,
Steve, how realistic or feasible would it be to, considering public awareness of this, to move it back to December?
I don't have the authority to tell you that, Councilman Hubble, but I will certainly push it up the chain and give you an answer tomorrow.
Okay.
What was your question? I'm sorry.
Whether they, considering that this trepidation over the people being notified, that they push this effective date is going to be Monday, the 18th, to December, to give it time to sink in.
I'll give you an answer tomorrow.
On those leaks, didn't y'all replace those pistons on there so you could pick a heavier load? Is that one of the reasons for leakage on there?
I'd be lying if I told you. This first, you know,
It
again,
seems
I'm not
like I
doubting.
remember y'all changing the pistons so you could, because they weren't heavy enough to get the loads that you were doing. And that's where some of that leakage is coming from. I don't have
That's it.
to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
But as it stands right now, the 18th will be the date. If you
I'm
You
gonna,
can't get any
I'll call the mayor's office tomorrow and let you know if we can push it back to the first Monday in December.
Thank you, Steve.
But
Yeah, thank you.
1099, consider abandonment of South 12th Street right away at Avenue 2. Mr. Clayton?
If I can, you know, this is something we've been tossing around for a couple months now, and kind of hit a few roadblocks, and I see someone with the right family, and I do see Mr. Cradair here. So, you know, according to state statute, if this, once the city abandons a right-of-way, the two adjacent property owners, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a 50-50 split. I think where we run into a problem on this is, I don't know who did it, but a fence, a chain link fence was put up past the halfway point of to allow for a 50-50 right-of-way. And to me, to get this situation remedied, the fence would need to be moved, you know, this would be a negotiation, I guess, between the two adjacent property owners. And, so that's kind of where we are right now. So I see Mr. Cradair is here, and I see, Miss Gloria Wright's daughter-in-law is here also. So, Mr. Cradair, would you like to say something?
Yeah. Gordon back there, when the project around and give the land to these people, said, give half and half. Okay, where we're at, the situation is different. 14th Street, they split 50-50 on the right of way. Go where I'm at, they have a swimming pool and a right of way. So they turn around and give the left, the whole swimming pool, and the right, that the thing, you know, the right of way. Call it what it is. This church drill. If you look at it, not right. They got the swimming pool section, and I should get the right of way. If you want to call about 50-50, there it is, 50-50. 14th Street and the other street down the street, 50-50. Right now, you got two pieces of land. Terrio got the swimming pool, and Coolville Toronto got in there, and they got together and they walked it off. So Coolville had a bunch of kids. So he put that fence. I don't even know if that fence is on these people's property or not. But if you look at it, to be right, they get the land there, and I should get the right of way. No matter what, if you look at it, it should straight down the line. And I come here a while back with Mr. R.J. Loop and all that, they turn around, they give me the land. And the guy went surveyed it, and I thought he put it in there. But we had turnaround, so I never could follow it in. And then the only reason I know it's not put together, because when they had a wreck, one of your councilmen was like, oh, that belongs to the city. I said, oh, Lord, have mercy. And I want to fix the fence up. And if the fence got to be moved for partly, but not half of the right of way, because that'd be wrong if you look at it. Because Terry Toronto, he brought it up to the mayor, and well, whatever it is, did it to get his the swimming pool. And I didn't talk to the mayor, and he was supposed to talk to his lawyer and get back with me, but never got that. And if you look at it, then the right is right. I should get the right of way, because they got the swimming pool. Free land, half and half. If you look at it, it's 50-50. I mean, I'm not trying to be ugly or anything.
I don't have the historical property documents on it, but I mean, if there was a swimming pool, it
I
sounds like we're dealing with two separate tracts of land here. You know,
Right.
the city owned a swimming pool, but if that was on one of the pieces of property here, you know, that's not necessarily a road right of way. That's something the city owned in addition to the road right
No,
of
sir,
way.
it's not, because I have the paperwork for it.
Well, I mean, I'm more than happy to look at the paperwork. All I can say is, you know, by law, if it's a road right of way, then this is something the city has no discretion whatsoever to waiver from. When a city or town or village or whatever abandons what is essentially a road right of way, by law, each adjacent property owner would own up to or get up to the center line of where that road would be. And that's the situation, you know, we're dealing with right now. You know, regardless of what was provided in the past and all that, obviously the right of way is still intact. You know,
Right.
assuming that these records are correct. So, you know, the laws that govern what happens to the road right of way, that's completely different than just another piece of land that maybe the swimming pool would have.
Because the swimming pool was abandoned and that part was abandoned.
No, what I understand, but the swimming pool itself is not a the land that the swimming pool is on is not a road right of way. So it's not subject to the same laws that the road right of way would be subject to. So that's the situation for the city, is that, we're dealing with a road right of way, and what happens when we abandon, if the city chooses to abandon the road right of way, and it's not something that the city just has a choice in, one way or the other.
Right. As far as
The law says it's the the owners on each side of the right of way. So if the city said, I don't want to give it to any, I want to abandon this roadway and I want to give it to somebody else who's not even an adjoining landowner, you couldn't do that either. Because the law says exactly what happens. When you abandon it, it goes to the adjacent property owners who own along the width of that right of way, and the city got no choice in it.
So, Mr. Cradle, what's your take on the 50-50? Basically it's the law, so.
The law suck, I'm gonna tell you what that, like it is. They abandoned. When they told me where I was, they abandoned the swimming pool and they hauled it up. And he came over within me to get his, that part, so he got it. So, but if that's what you wanna do, my fence is clean. I always keep it clean and so that's what you want to make it look like terrible like that. You do what you gotta do. It is wrong. Because I look at that, I've been taking care of it for 22 years. So who gonna pay me for taking care of it? $180 a month. So somebody have to pay me for keep it for 22 years. What the lawyer said. Somebody need to pay me.
You have a fence on it?
Because I've been taking care of it. I didn't put the fence. The fence been over. I've been here 50 years and the fence been there properly. And I thought by law, after 25 years, 50 years, you taking care of it, it don't matter what it is.
Not when it's a governmental body.
Well, Louis, didn't you say that they agreed to have it 50-50?
They rectify that
No.
before.
What did you say about the
I'll be
50?
more than happy to look at the documentation.
Yeah, that's-
and see
I-
if there's something
I
there.
think at this
All I
point-
can tell you is what the statute says.
I think at this point, the best thing to do, ma'am, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name.
Danielle Worthy.
Danielle, if you can get the documents that you're in possession of to, Mr. Alvarez.
Can I speak?
Sure.
Okay, so first of all, if y'all want to see this, the original, when Ms. Gloria brought the property, lot 159 and lot 160
Right.
was included. This is actually still on the website when she brought the property. And if you read through it, both of the lots were included. Okay? The title company dropped the ball with Ms. Terrio, so that included the swimming pool lot, which was lot 160. They dropped the ball. So when Ms. Terrio sent the letter to say that she still owned that property, is because if she had already lost the lot 159 to the bank, Ms. Gloria got an attorney. That's why Ms. Terrio had to return the property to her in 2018. She thought everything was completely done in 2014 when she got the property. So the second property went over to her as a donation because she had no choice, Ms. Terrio, at that point, because she tried to reclaim a property that didn't belong to her at all.
Ms. Terrio did?
Correct. And that's in the assessors. Lot 159 is the original lot with the home on it. Lot 160 is the lot that he said is a swimming pool. Where the swimming pool was, that she has since put a fence around that's next to it, but that's her lot.
She put the fence.
Well, the fence is on her property line where the pen run. There's a fence around the servitude with a lock on it. So nobody can get in if they wanted to and cut a grass in there because it's a lock on it. And when she kept coming to the city and asking them, can she buy it? She wanted to buy it. They didn't want to sell it. She has been asking to buy that piece.
What piece are you referring to?
The one that's, you know, where the two halves meet, where the she wanted them to, she said, well, they're not selling it because it's a servitude. The one he's asking to not do the 50-50 on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when it say need extra storage or extra land, well, this home has both. Tell me what.
Extra land, so our house is on lot 159. The lot where he said the swimming pool is, that's the lot that sits on 160. The one that's next to the servitude.
So that's what you think they was implying, what they was
That's what the
saying
swimming
right
pool was. Because they said it had I didn't even realize that because I never seen it before in my life. They had a public swimming pool sitting to the front where the house is, and both pieces belonged to Miss Terrio until she lost them to the bank. Now, once she got it corrected and all done, it was signed over. Of course, it was donated to her because it originally belonged to her to keep her from having to go through all the other parameters, and she sent it over to her in 2018, according to the assessor's office.
Send it over to.
Miss Gloria. (4/13/2018) to be exact.
Right.
That first property, when she was supposed to do it, and the lawyer, when she sent the letter out to say it doesn't belong to you, why did you put a fence up? The lawyer contacted her. So her first set, when she bought the first property, was in 2014. Then when the house was bought out cash.
So in 2014, Miss Gloria bought the house and the extra lot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if we get this documentation, you know, I don't have any problem with the city just abandoning the right of way. It's to me, it's going to be up to y'all to figure out the legal parameters of this whole situation. But Evan, are we like putting the cart before the horse? If we do abandon it now, when this stuff hadn't been resolved?
Theoretically, because if the two adjacent property owners are not in agreement and they're gonna be, you know, if they're gonna be battling each other over who gets what on the property, then more than likely the city's gonna get pulled in the middle of it.
Right.
So maybe the city is better off not doing it in that situation. You know, again, if the property owners can reach an agreement, it wouldn't be hard to do, because then what the city could do would be to abandon the right of way. Each half would go to each adjoining property owner, and then from there they can decide between, you know, if they have an agreement between themselves, after each side is donated to the two adjoining property owners, then they can readjust the boundary amongst themselves, because it would just be, you know, adjusting the property line between the two owners at that point in time. Now, got to say though, even when the city abandons it, though, it still retains a you know, a servitude of passage on it, because they got the access, the drainage canal behind it.
Correct.
So even if the city abandons that, you know, you can't build any type of permanent structure there, because then that would obstruct the access to the drainage canal running east to west. That's on the south side of that property.
Well, we were made aware of that when Mr. Rudy came visited a couple times, trying to persuade. So we're aware of nothing can be built on the property, but the fairness in it all is, if he's there, I mean, if you guys are going to sell it, sell it. If you want to
be selling it.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to abandon it, the fair thing is to split both ways, especially for somebody to ask to buy that piece. And if you want to abandon, split both ways. I mean, it wasn't an option. You get what I mean?
Yeah, if the city abandons it, we're not selling it to anybody.
Right.
As soon as the city abandons it, half goes to this property owner, the other half goes to the other property owner. That happens as a matter of law, and the city has no choice in that. But what Mr. Revere is referring to, if the property owners can reach an agreement, the city can abandon it. Half of it will go to each property owner, and then if the property owners have reached an agreement, from there they can adjust. Okay, you know, we agreed that, you know, if the city abandons it, I'll take this, you take that, and, you know, from there they can complete the transaction, if you will. But I don't think the city's going to want to abandon it until the property owners have reached an agreement about what's going to happen after. Because we don't want to abandon it, and now we're pulled into a lawsuit between two private landowners in terms of who gets what.
Well, we're in agreement. If he's in agreement, I don't know. But it's, like I said, it's a fence up. Nobody can get in there at all with a lock and chain.
Anybody know who the fence for?
We don't know. We don't even know who the fence is for.
And the reason why I got it locked up, because you see, they got pit bulls, they're raising pit bulls there. And those pit bulls, I am scared of it, and I really need to fix that fence a little bit more. And the reason why I got it locked, why should I have it locked? Just let people just go over that, because I cut it every week. And when we have electricity problem, I open the gate and I let the electricity people back that truck in the back to get to that big old, whatever you want to call that thing on top of the pole. I can't even think of it right now. Transformer. So if that happened, we go this way. I don't know how they're gonna get in the back to get to the transformer, because if this happens, it's gonna be locked. And nobody gets to get, that's why I open it wide open for them. Every time they come, they need to get like that, I open the gate and let them go.
So the fence belongs to you, or you just put the lock on the fence?
Well, let me ask you something. You want me to leave, you want me to leave it open so the dog, your bulldog, those pit bull come in my yard? No, indeed. I walk in the back there.
The people are the locking fence.
Those
And
people,
they cannot
they
get
come
out.
to the yard, they want to carry me up.
You've heard that
I
they're
mean,
in trouble before?
They have never gotten out.
So when you have
so
servitude,
you're supposed to only have, how many dogs are you supposed to have?
Let's consider they split 50.
everybody speak to the council, not each other. You know, the issue is not necessarily having a fence on there. You know, it's common when, you know, a lot of times you'll see it even when there's energy lines. You know, the energy company has a servitude there. Yeah, you can put a fence on it, because at the end of the day, if a fence has to be moved at some point in time, it's not a big deal to do so. What they're not going to let you do is build houses and big structures in the middle of their servitude, because if that happens, you know, you just can't move those out the way real easy. But again, you know, all I can do at this point in time is look at the documentation and more than happy to do so. But, you know, as of right now, it's still a road servitude. It was supposed to be there if South 12th Street was ever extended. So it's going to be, as it stands right now, it's going to be subject to the general statutes on abandonment.
Yeah, but the paperwork I've accumulated on this, and I'll just, I'll get it to you. And, just go from there. I'm sorry this turned into such an ordeal, but, I'll get you the documentation, and, we just go from there.
I'll say one more thing, then I'm gone. And the reason why I got it locked, because that fence got hit 5 times, and it's all torn up, and I'm not spending no money, because really, it's not mine. When I bought the property, the guy already had it all fenced up, so that's what comes like that. So if I go take the lock off and just let it wide open, so I got everybody just be driving all over the place. I mean, I'm protecting my property on that side.
So, Mr. Cribbs, it just so happened all of this fall in the confines of the law.
Yeah,